Hello, I am Rangru,
And I'm Graham.
and we're here today with a 2v2 from the GSI 2v2 tournament. We're on a 2v2 map here, it's more of a 1v1 map. Highway to Seoul. Who do we have playing today, Mr. Graham?
So on the left-hand side here, ring in the blue, we have team Kaprom, and they are playing with Scandinavian General and Israeli Marine, very feared Israeli Marine deck. And then on the right, we have Entente Motorized with Team Firce and also Poland General.
Indeed, and Entente Mech.
Oh, I thought it was
Or
Moto.
Moto,
Oh.
my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some
Yeah.
reels or tracks in there somewhere.
Yes, there's some type of, mechanization to allow it to move forward. That's letting it go. But we see here already Team Fierce has them, a little MiG-21 BIS action to start the match ring, try and get a little air detection, maybe probe for any helos or anything like that nature.
Because we are seeing a pretty heavy, not really a helicopter rush, but a forward deployment of reconnaissance troops and the so-called, and an Mi-17, so definitely going to be getting some very Gucci positions in Delta and Echo.
Yeah, he's definitely opening up right there. That's who's that? Creed? Yeah, it's Creed Creed playing there with the Polish deck. You see the Mi-17s, Mi-24s there. So he has a nice little actual helicopter force that he can kind of hold on to because he's pulling them back for any future engagements.
Yeah. Yes, it's going to be enough time, I think, to just slow down this initial push here from Team Kaprom and allows him to get some extra reinforcements into Echo and Delta. There he's bringing out some units through the reinforcement road, which is actually kind of smart. I guess he brought heavy helicopters and then used that little point saving at the start to invest in more ground units.
Yeah, we see a little recon T-55 action, some ATGMs coming in there as well. And then down in the south there, and we do have an engagement development here between the two sides. The Entente player pushing up here pretty aggressively with his units trying to put some heavy pressure on Golf. And Mi-17s come over here to try and do some little damage.
Oh, I even got recoilless rifle vehicles trying to do their darndest.
Yeah, trying to throw a little 90mm heat action right there.
Oh, it's getting hot, yo. MiG-29.
Yeah, it is about to get really hot right here. The automatic opening up, getting a full salvo into it. And, barely the MiG-29 getting away with 2 HP there. Good bomb drop as well. And some shots in there from the Bumbar and the Patabrachi 90s.
Yeah, very good one to hit. The automatic is not going to have any of that. It may not have the best anti-aircraft record, but its ground game is pretty tight.
Yeah, it's absolutely a tank sometimes, and you just see it right there, shredding those Proletariat 90. The Falkenberger as well, getting into the side with the Erixes, and you can even see the ping go down there because those Procas are in danger.
He needs to back him off, because that is a lot of... Well, it's not... It's
Up a Delta in the road between Delta and Echo, the door bonds get hits and take down the Tourney there. The Polish 20 shot down in the middle of the road right there. I barely caught that because there's so much action going on this map right now.
That is hot. That is a real hot kill right off the bat. And the Formosas with no RPGs are going to have a hard time against all the Israeli machine guns.
Yeah, the Israeli M113s with all the MGs right there are actually going to just tear apart those Formosa in the open so their Givati can now push forward. And Echo now completely back under Zero's control there for Team Kaprom.
I've seen Su-22 being brought in for some anti-radar action, trying to snipe the automatic, but not getting the kill. But we've seen, I mean, of course, in a 2v2, you're going to be as much, you can devote more forces all around, especially on this map. So we're seeing actual, like, heavy play down south.
Yeah, we see that, Fierce Husky Actual, he feels like he has some momentum going here. So he's pushing over there. There's an SCRV 121 kind of holding the back part of Golf there as well. These Panzer skirts are getting caught right out in the open here. Patabrachi moving forward. Oh, but the SCRF's cutting into him. Oh, and then he just gets absolutely annihilated.
Completely and utterly nuked. But yeah, so far it's pretty even Stevens. I think Kaprom has done a very good job of regaining control over Echo. Delta is mostly in Fierce's control, though Kaprom still holds the important Triangle Forest, and even going to be sneaking up a CV in there, a Mugaf, which is something you never see.
You don't see that every day.
No, it's because you're bloody Marines. Why Marines, Zero? If you're watching this video, please explain yourself.
Yes,
I didn't know Israel had such a crazy, like, Marine force. Oh! You see in the backline of Firce's deployment, we've
Oh
got
yeah,
some,
he's get some shenanigans.
yeah, some Marine Jaegers, not of the Israeli type, but Marines nonetheless.
Yeah, Marine Jaegers dropped in the backside there. And we also see a double CV drop here, one in Golf, one in Delta for Team Kaprom. So there is a CV coming up, I believe, for Golf, or Charlie, excuse me. I thought I saw a call. Yep, I do see it's in Bravo currently. So but they got a nice little +2 here to start. They have a little bit of momentum, I think, as well, Rang. Taking out the Tourney was pretty massive. And there's a
Yeah.
little bit of the nuking of that infantry down there by Charlie, as well as giving Team Caprom a nice little leverage point.
Yep, and Creed with all his helicopters has been forced to pull them back a bit, I think, for a little bit of R&R. So he
Yeah.
should be bringing them in for round 2. Fortunately, it's the Israeli player up north, so it's a little bit safer for that and all the helicopters to be flying about. Because looking at the Marine deck, yeah, you get the Macbeths. And the whole, okay, so you get the Macbeths and like the Pivards and all of that, so just pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I really like the push here from Caprom and Golf to Charlie. We do see the SRV 121 is actually kind of exposed. He's going to want to maybe, some smoke or something to make sure, protect it there because it is down to 3 HP. You don't want to lose your 121 right there. Oh, but those Falkenberger get absolutely annihilated by the MiG-29. And then there goes the SU-22 down to the automatic.
It's completely and utterly right, yeah. And the Fighting Falcon also gets blabbed by the Nevers.
Yeah, it's we call that trading. There's some trading going down right now, running across the map here. Whereas we do see it's kind of a little stagnant in Delta right now. Though there are some Zeldas rushing some Polish infantry right there in Echo.
Yeah, Delta's always a scary area to push in general because you're sandwiched in between the two of the major sections of the map, and it's a grind every time on this map. 1v1, 2v2, especially if you play some 4v4 for some insane reason.
Yeah.
Delta is... If you were an infantryman and you get sent to the Delta point, just write your reel, say your goodbyes. You're not coming out of here alive.
No, definitely not. That's the end of the line for you typically. We do see the M2 Wilk here pushing up there, trying to hit the Stinger team. These Shiatats are going to go ahead and try and get up close here, and they do have a pretty potent anti-tank weapon with them, so that M2 Wilk is a little bit exposed, Rang.
Yeah. Yo, okay, the recon troops are going to spot him at least, but the M2 Wilk is going to stand its ground.
And the Super Glove goes in, dives into Golf, gets the kill on the SCRV 121, the automatic, not able to take it out there. So nice pickup there for Team Firce.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Mi-17s coming in hot to provide some fire support. That SCRV 103 low in HP could actually go down here, but Beaufort's gun providing some adequate anti-air fire.
Yeah, and that MiG-29, I think he finally overextended himself right there. He's got a lot of value at him, but I think he's got 2, and then automatic getting the kill there. You don't ever want to try and use a napalm plane to kill the automatic.
No. And he completely missed as well, so it was a completely worthless bomb drop for him.
Yeah, and we see Zero right there for Team Caprom calling out help, the recon infantry is able to spot his reinforcements along the road there. But the Wilk is being pushed back right here. It's down to 4 HP there in Delta. He's going to get a shot here into these Shiatats, so he should be able to finish them off. But he's playing with fire right there.
Wrong guy. Oh, good trade.
Yeah, it's an amazing trade right there for Team Caprom.
Yeah, lovely one-shot kill. I risked my RPGs in Battlefield 4 out like deadly.
Yeah, that one guy all by himself right there, truly, he's living it up.
Yeah, we're still seeing the Marine Jaegers in the back line slowly make their way through. Probably smarter in this case for any not to go for the CV type of reconceive our God Vision. The CV's a bit far out, but just having that in the rear for intelligence support would be pretty huge.
Another plane right there going down to the automatic. That thing has put an absolute Chad ring down to 15 rounds right there, but another plane dying there for the Entente.
It's been absolutely deadly for just being an air pilot in this matchup. Of course, in a 2v2, it's a much more denser anti-aircraft net. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah, you really gotta be careful with your planes in 2v2s because there is, like you talk about the density, there is so much AA firepower in these matches, and you've already seen it on display here.
Oh, another MiG-29 coming in. Maybe automatic's just going to run out of ammo.
I think he'll be a little bit far enough away to get out of there. Yeah, he's still getting hit there, but it is definitely playing with fire.
Yeah. But yeah, so far, Kaprom is definitely in the lead. They have fantastic momentum up north, completely clearing out Delta. We've seen a bit of a counterpush here from Firce into Echo. Managed to get a good foothold, but still, just Israeli Marine coming in surprisingly strong.
Yeah, definitely coming in strong, especially against some of the more conventional firepower you would assume with the Polish general deck there. But I mean, you can't lose a Tourney and an M2 Wilk like that and expect to maintain the point.
Yeah, because Marine deck's kind of like a mech/moto deck with a little bit of extra air power thrown in to boot, and you really can't afford to be losing your main advantage, which is tanks, against a more infantry-focused, I'd say, division but deck.
Yeah, and honestly, Kaprom's gotten a lot of good value out of their Centurions as well. He's brought them up for good fire support. You see him right there doing some work, trying to hit those ZVs as they move into the forest line there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, not terrible for 40 points.
No, they get 3 HE. They got 8 rounds a minute. I mean, for 40 points, right? Like, I mean, you're getting what you pay for, but he's getting value out of them. It does seem like the Golf Charlie line is kind of, I would say, chilling out a little bit, Rang. It seems like they both are kind of probing now a little more. Not so much of a general offensive between the two. I mean, both of them just, kind of just trading with each other nonstop here for about the past 12 minutes.
Yeah, the Golf Charlie line is always quite difficult to push.
Right.
Because there's a lot of open ground, which is essentially useless. And if you try to push tanks over the open ground, there's a lot of forest surrounding it, where you're just going to get AT-GM'd. And if you try to push with infantry through the forest, it's choke pointed, and as you see, bombers just come in and annihilate your entire push.
No, absolutely. One thing I'm interested. Oh, and Amos has been called out by Kaprom from Rennie there, so he's going to bring up some mortar for some fire support here. He'll probably deal with some of these infantry blobs that we kind of see, because there's proletary spread out, 40 proletary basically in a line, along with some Czech recon infantry. ATGM's coming up as well. So that Marine Jaeger getting very close in the back line of Alpha Ring.
Yeah, it's a famous double-barreled artillery piece from Eugene's hit game, Active Aggression.
That's your favorite Eugene game, right?
It is. It's my absolute favorite.
Did you ever play
100% achievements? Pardon?
You do not have 100% achievements in Active Aggression. That's a lie. You see the bomb SU-7 there just getting annihilated from no one other than the automatic again. That A piece is doing some work.
So it's honestly turned into like a match of Raw Thunder and high tier.
Yes.
Where you just bring in any aircraft, you just get blapped by the missile IA.
Yeah, no, that's 100% what it feels like. You just fly in with your plane, you immediately get annihilated by some AAP. So like, well, I guess I'll get $60 of value out of this one day.
Yeah.
But then you do it again and again, and there here you are years later. Right. From personal experience, right?
I know. A little bit.
We do see, though, this lead back to the game ring is getting pretty high for Kaprom. They're at 213 now, up on Firce with that +2. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
No, Firce really needs to try to get something into Echo, which they are doing. I'm assuming right now, with that WD-43 being brought on in. But still, like, Kaprom has a very good position on Echo. I mean, with the Israelis, just have so much good cheap machine gun and light cannon firepower that you can just hold off these Polish infantry advantage. And the Polish infantry, you don't really play, like, Eastern Bloc, for example, for the Polish infantry. You play for the East German infantry. Because Polish infantry is just pretty meh overall, apart from, like, Commandosis and Formosas.
We haven't seen any Commandos either.
No, it's all Formosas.
Yeah, the Formosas, which got annihilated by the M113s. And then you do see he brought up some of the Polish paratroopers as well in the Mi-17s earlier, but they've been dealt with. And then we see the C-72M, which honestly, the M's could do a lot of work for him. That would be something the Israeli Marine deck just wouldn't have a very good counter to, because it's cheap, right? You're spending 55 points for it. It's better than even the best armored vehicle that Kaprom has right there. But instead, he's kind of invested in those super heavies and then lost them, and so it's really hard to maintain your position.
Yeah, Zero's done a fantastic job of just using his limited anti-tank quite effectively. We saw just, yeah, the Shy at 13 coming in, blapping the T-72 with the
Yep.
pretty much s'more, I'm just going to call it. And, yeah, he's, without the armor fire support, he can't push up. It's going to be risky with his CV being brought in. He could probably spot it.
Yeah, he's just really playing on fire. We see the toe right there going ahead engaging the Wilk at max range as the Wilk keeps trying to hit the Hovette. But I really don't, for the Polish position here, I really don't like it, Ring. I'm not sure how he quite rectifies it too well. Honestly, he probably just needs to wait. He needs to build up a little bit of time and build up a strong force to counterattack with, because it will be hard for the Israeli Marine deck to, fight a frontal engagement against some of that heavy Polish equipment.
Yeah, it's also probably maybe a good idea for Husky to help out a little bit up north. I don't really think it's Gove Charlie push for either side is really going to work out. And just having a little bit of extra forces to tip the balance of power. Just try to neutralize Echo, try to neutralize Delta. I mean, it's not preferable, you need to fully capture one of those zones, but they can't, especially at this point, afford to be losing over 280 points.
Yeah, I definitely think the right answer here is, like you talked about, is they need to start working together a little more. They've played, it's been two isolated 1v1s going on the map for the past almost half this game, whereas I think Husky probably really needs to divert attention and help out his team, help out Creed here, because Creed is in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah, he's just looking at the, force locations. Zero has very good positions in Forest and pretty well spread out, while Creed's forces are a little bit all over the place. He's playing a lot of tanks now, but his previous experience with tanks, especially without much infantry support currently, I don't think they're going to be doing all that much.
No, and then you could take that good infantry that's with the Entente motorized deck and put it in front of the heavy armor that you have with Poland, and now you have a winning formula, right? You can start really playing pressure. Plus, the Plowman, as we just saw, an amazing piece, a firepower right there, just annihilating pretty much a 20 stack of Falcon Mega right there in the forest line. And so, but instead, I think Husky's going to once again commit to an attack here in Gulf, which Gulf really doesn't change the overall strategic situation, though that Neva is annihilating some planes as well.
Yeah, we also just saw the F-16 blapped another T-72, so
yeah,
really not a good day to be really any sort of tank or aircraft in general.
Yeah, tank crews are getting the armored and air forces of both sides have been getting eaten up here. But we do see an SCRV right down the back line, hit those Patabranchi in the open. Oh, he uses smokers, and those Patabranchi have caught White there in the open right there. SCRV getting some shots into him. Some more shots coming in there from the Hilo into the Foxjäger, but they're just going to be able to stop that. Amos is actually shooting at... What's he trying to counter better? They're trying to counter better where the Plowman was at.
We're finally seeing a bit of smoke.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke action right there dropped. Not a lot, though, Ring. Not a lot.
We haven't seen much this entire game, which really, of course, Rihamia's point in time and time again, use bloody smoke. Especially if you're playing a more mechanized, motorized, whatever deck. Smoke is your best friend.
Well, and for your tanks, too, because some of these engagements can be, when your heavy tanks die, you just lose so much, force presence on the map. Yeah. And we've seen that perfectly, for Creed. Losing a M2 Wilk, losing a Twardy, he's lost another M1 Wilk. That's just a lot of armored firepower gone from the start of the game.
If we're looking to Kaprom's backline, you can first see a Hind going all the way around the flank here. Very sneaky maneuver. But secondly, more importantly, is the supply trucks getting stuck in the forest, which is an absolutely pathetic display.
Yeah, he keeps
Come on.
Yeah, they're completely stuck in the mud there. That's super funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but the Mi-35 is going in.
There's nothing to stop it.
The Gripen not see it? No, it might have been just out of range there because it's going forward here. What's the Gripen even? Oh, the Gripen's moving into engage those J-22s right there, which are going to go ahead and fly in here. He needs to be careful so that that Neva hit his Gripen. Missile out, actually, and it takes a massive hit right there. Lucky with one HP. But the Mi-35 is now in the base, Rain.
He's going in hot. He's
booking a stay in hotel right now. Coming in hot right now. We got see if can this actually turn the game around. We'll see at the Mi-35. He turns to shoot the artillery piece. No, kill the CV, and that's exactly what he does. And he's going to go ahead and get the artillery piece as well. Kill some supply trucks too. Wow, that's the Hind pilot that could.
I could definitely change
crazy.
momentum a little bit into Firce's favour here. Rather fierce attack, you could say, halfway through the match. Of course, it's not the end of the road here for Kaprom. They can still buy CVs through Foxtrot and bring it back to Hotel. But that's time and money, which definitely does give Firce a bit of an opportunity window to try to push heavy along the front somewhere.
So I think the question here is this paired with a general push along the front, right? Like, if you're doing this to create instability and buy yourself time, while he's resupplying his Mi-35 back there. But then this can work, right? It's not just a funny shenanigan that, we laugh on the cast. Can they get momentum here and create instability inside Kaprom's, organization right now as they've been playing? We'll see if these doorbounds can get taken out here. They're going to the first use of Commodossi that I've seen. They're going to annihilate that infantry right around them.
Yeah, we see great use of smoke to get those guys in, and that's such a good position for the Commodossi with their long-range RPG and their beefy infantry squad. That's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, it's a really good move right there for him, and now we see him push up a little bit, but he needs more infantry to screen for that M1 Wilk right there. Yeah, T-55 dying there to a Maglan team. That Wilk is completely exposed there, and those Giovati will annihilate it if he gets too close. Something else just went dying. Another armored vehicle.
And we're just seeing in Hotel, the Hind is still wreaking absolute havoc. We're not really seeing that crazy of a response, I'd say, from Kaprom. They're sending one automatic and one scout defender right now. I think also they're sending in the Stinger Cobra. So that Hind is going to go down, but he's going to take quite a few guys with him.
Look what they're trying to do, right? Look at the Mi-17 backside of Charlie with this.
What?
The CV. They have a CV loaded up with the Mi-17.
Oh, they're sneaky. It's not going to come in time yet. We've got the CV.
No, honestly, it's too late. If he had paired it with it, it would have worked.
Yeah.
Look, he's bringing the Mi-17s in with him now. They're all falling in formation here. But that's something they should have probably coordinated a little bit better, and they could have succeeded in getting the CV in the back line there. Absolutely would have worked.
Yeah, it would have completely changed the dynamic of the game. You completely shut down any aircraft being brought in from Kaprom, and of course, fighting a two-front war. I mean, Germany has a lot of experience with that. It's not ideal.
No, it's definitely not what you want to do. And it looks like they've decided discretion's the better part of valor, and the CV's coming back home here. Yeah. So that's kind of a waste.
Yeah, that's a shame, because that pretty much could have been the match here for Firce if they managed to capture that realigned CV, because they had the perfect opportunity window.
No, yeah, 100%. It's funny to see that was clearly part of the strat, but they didn't coordinate it well with each other. And I don't know if that's just, they realized like too late, oh wow, we could have done this, or just, miscommunication what they're doing. But that could have been a game-changing move, but instead now they're kind of stuck with an extra CV and they have no ability to put it anywhere.
Yeah, and still we're getting the +1 tick here for Kaprom. They have a over 300 point advantage, which is pretty Gucci at this point in the match.
Yeah, that's definitely Gucci. That's what you want right now. You're way up. You can afford to have a mistake like we saw there. Base defense. Take that lesson to heart, people. Have some base defense in any of your matches. 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. We do see this SU-7 coming in here, trying to get some more damage. But a lot of these planes have been kind of wasted, in my opinion, Rain. They've been utilized uncoordinated with anything else. So he's just kind of sitting on SU-7 here with no ability to follow, even if it could do anything to follow up. Yeah. And it even misses the McBet, too.
And really, in these 2v2 matches, you really want to be using Siege with the majority of your airstrikes. You need that backup just so your guys have a chance of bloody surviving.
Yeah, we see armor here going in once again from Team Firce here. So the Poles, they're going on high. Oh, we see the Plummet being used to support his push. And this is big, and this is the first time this has really happened this game. And look what happens when you have some combined arms being utilized in your push. The Israeli front here getting broken.
Yep. Those T-72s have absolute clear shots.
Yeah, and there's nothing that can really deal with them if they're screened properly by infantry. And we see a little fire support from the Entente player, and it proves critical. The Maglans are out of ammunition as well. I like to see maybe a little more smoke or something, right? But that's okay. And now we see the Polish infantry here moving up. There's more infantry on top of that as well. And this push is actually now starting to look pretty good here in Delta. Oh, but the CV's going to run right into the Shiatets. Oh, he needs to back it up. Yeah.
Run away. Yeah, very good push here so far here from Creed. We are seeing reinforcements. Some Leopard, all the infantry getting sniped by the Commandosi out in the open. Great shots, yeah.
And see, this is where, like, down south, his teammate, Husky Actual, pushing into the Gulf area, that force would have been so much better served, Rang, supporting the push in Delta. It's just pushing Gulf, like you talk about. It's so open. There's so much terrain. All those T-55s are there. What was that? 4 of them dead, 55 points each. I mean, this proletariat's going to move up and get some damage, but I really think that they coordinated together. This is almost an unstoppable push.
Yeah, and then you can completely capture Delta. Then from holding Delta, it gives you a good angle of attack to put pressure onto Echo.
Yep.
Which definitely would have helped reverse the tide a bit, but alas, no. It seems like, yeah, Zero bringing in the back to pretty hot CQC style T-72s getting blapped. And
yeah, the Nimrod.
Yeah, T-72s going down. That's kind of the majority of the firepower.
Yeah, the Nimrod coming in there cleaning up. There's no AA to protect them. Fighter bomber here coming in, fighting Falcon, going to drop on this infantry. And so it looked like a really good attack there that was kind of forming. There's no fighter coverage up whatsoever by Team Firce, so maybe screen against some of these bombers. And so, I mean, he's made ground. He has pushed up a little bit. He can probably sneak a CV into Delta and stop the +1, but it has now become very costly.
Yeah. And at this point, they need to be taking, like, massive territorial gains.
Right, and then
+3.
No, absolutely. But and then you see down south there, look how much firepower is wasted on the side skirts here of Charlie. And that's just where I feel like, you know, a lot of times, you can see it here, it's just a misallocation of resources, especially when you're down and you're trying to wrest control of the momentum back.
Yeah.
And you can see those Commandosi are going to engage here. They've got the Polish paratroopers there in support them, but just look at the Bardellas go in. All those machine guns at once. I mean, they might kill the Commandosi completely.
Damn.
Oh, well, Commandosi finishes it, but it wasn't a good trade.
Oh.
So, I don't know what's going on in that forest south of Charlie on the hill line there. Ring.
It's going for a bit of a stroll.
It's like they're in Vietnam.
Hunting for Charlie.
They're definitely hunting for Charlie.
They're in Gulf. Charlie's back home.
Oh, he brought a CV up. Look, Husky's brought a CV up to try and get it into Gulf.
Oh, that is a very risky maneuver because there's not a whole lot of area in Gulf.
Oh, he's gonna stick it right there into the tree line there.
Oh, that is.
Oh no, never mind. He's taking it back. It's gonna get spotted.
Extremely spotted.
I don't. I mean, they.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, so they stopped the tick, so I mean, I guess they're trying to get that +1 ring.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. They need to be using those aggressive CVs, but this is only a Jeep CV, so right. It is, you know, you sneeze on it and it will die.
Yeah, it's also just barely hugging that line there, so that does give them a +1 right now. So down almost 400 points, they start the climb back up.
Gonna be a very long climb, I believe, Graham.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could break the position in Delta if he had proper, you know, unit composition, but there's no armor up here anymore, and I think it looks like it's kind of being diluted across the board here. Too many pushes, I think, Rain, that just aren't properly supported.
Yeah, just like the tanks or infantry get a little bit stretched out from one another, and then it just get blapped by RPGs and s'mores.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you the lethality that's in this game, right? Especially for a lot of this infantry. You can't just push armor unsupported, into forest lines just due to the, you know, the raw firepower these infantry squads have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see the Zero counterattacking into Delta here. Bringing up some more infantry right there. Just Giovati everywhere. The Centurion's actually providing fire support along with an SCRV from his comrade Rennie there. So you see some support from the two players for Team Kaprom, whereas we really haven't seen a lot of coordination from Team Firce.
I think also from Zero, just his infantry's just quality's been on point. Because both the Giavazi and the Shy at 13, which really been his mainstay, are both 15-man scrotch. So they are quite beefy, and as you can see, they can take a lot of damage and deal out damage too.
Yeah, and you see, and we talked about it earlier, is that the infantry quality for Poland isn't the best, right? Like when you talk about like Eastern Bloc decks, like when you look at those, people do it for the German infantry, right?
Yeah.
And so when you see having to rely on Polish infantry, it's not that I think that they're horrible. It's just you really need to utilize your armored fire support effectively, and that just hasn't happened here. And Commodosis, this is an air-land battle. They're not just gonna nuke everything.
Oh.
We see the Puff actually come out there. We see Seed provide, like you talked about, with the Fighting Falcon, annihilating that ROM right there. F-16 does miss. These Commodosis will get up close and personal right here with these Marines and start shredding into them. But there's so many.
So many dudes. And the Polish infantry just do not have enough firepower to hold out. Like, yeah, when you're playing Eastern Bloc, you're really just taking Poland for the anti-aircraft weapon, and let's be real. You got your East German infantry.
The Wilks.
The Tilks, yeah, the Rilks, okay. Yeah, you have a good point. Anti-N, the Rilks. Yeah. You got your Czech MiGs.
Yeah.
Your Czech artillery.
Yeah. That is... No, that's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big point that you bring forward, is that Poland, you really don't see it played very often by itself. It's due to the rules of the current tournament. And so you will see probably some more interesting deck choices, but I do think Poland is functional. Like, I do think you can absolutely use it, but you have to remember it's not these aren't moat shoots and going in.
The BMP ones going in hot.
No, that's my favorite. Absolutely,
it is such a.
You can't beat it. No, I'm just saying you can't beat it for the price.
No, it's like peanut butter and jelly, but of explosives.
But I actually don't like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of those dudes.
That's acceptable.
Oh, I figured you were gonna have something smart to say.
Oh, no, that's acceptable.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. There's something about the combo of peanut butter and jelly I do not find that appealing or appetizing. We see this Commodosi here. He brought in more of them. And they are trying to hold off that back portion there, but they're really a 3-stack like that's just begging to be bombed.
Yep. We got the Mi-24 coming in, but it can only really do so much, as the Mi-24D is pretty lacking in firepower.
Oh, yeah, and there's 2 Macbeths.
Yep. And the Fighting Falcon coming in, probably gonna nuke the Commodosis.
He's a little behind, but they're fully panicked. He can push up right here and just finish him off pretty well. He did call out another M2 Wilk. Oh, what's getting shot at in the base?
We got a Bacan up from Team Kaprom. Is he just trying to kill the TSUs?
I think so.
Yeah, we're seeing a recon helicopter hunting.
Oh, he's spotted. Yeah. Honestly, not worth.
No. Maybe he's trying to do a helicopter thing? Look, oh, he's got like a Kernas in the rear. What's he doing with the Kernas?
Oh, but he doesn't know where it is. He's going to strike the ground back there. But look, they pinged the wrong spot. They actually don't know where the CV is. The Kernas coming in here to launch. I mean, he could have finished off the fob. The ZSU actually shooting at the Kernas. This is super funny.
Oh, he's splitting the missiles. Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he only dropped one, right? I forgot. Anyway.
I don't know what he did.
He just dropped a bomb, and it didn't do much.
he blew up some Earth.
Yes.
He said, fuck you, Earth. That was very anticlimactic right there.
It was. It would have been funny if he could have got the CV as like an eye for an eye type thing, but no.
Well, that would have sealed the deal, I think, for him.
Yeah.
Though we do see another CV has been brought up again in the Mi-17 there by Team Firce, but I think Firce is pretty much we're nearing the end game here, and once again the T-55s are going for a death ride into
the open.
Into golf, out in the open. There's one Eric's. Some bombs coming into. Oh my god, it's a massacre. Another Eric's about to come out right here. Oh my.
Yeah. Which is right, the Golf Charlie angle, like I said before, it's pretty much suicidal if you try to push for vehicles, because you just get blapped from a million and one different forest angles.
And MI-17 is also really far forward.
Manpads.
The Manpad team did see it fire a missile. It was way off though. Plowman now shooting as well, but I think it's too little, too late here for Team Fierce.
Yeah, Plowman attack maybe at the start of the T-55 or so probably would have helped out a little bit, just trying to stun up some of the troops. But alas, I mean, Rennie is way too dug into that forest, or forest, I should say.
Yeah, I feel like motorized pushes, because that's what he is, a motorized deck. Like a very aggressive push on golf could work at the start of the game, but there wasn't enough support. And then I think both players have to coordinate that together. And it seems like for the most of it, and I think for both teams, the supplies ring, is that they play two separate 1v1s on the map instead of actually playing a 2v2 against each other. And then when Kaprom does play more as a team, we see that they've now flexed units to each other's positions. They have a pretty decisive lead.
Mm-hmm. I also think probably like mechanized would have been a better choice for this map, as you don't really have the option to like spread your ring, so to speak, of motorized and actually maneuver around.
Yeah, because really it's a 1v1 map. Like it's big, so it gets put in the 2v2 pool, but it's obviously in the 1v1 ranked queue, and most players do consider it a good. It's a 1v1 map. That's what you kind of look at, just bigger. And so I think motorized can work when you have space to maneuver and utilize your speed, but you're not very good in frontal defense, really, or frontally attacking. I think a lot of times we see that with motorized. I mean, he just pushed that CV back out again. They're just going to get shot to death.
Yeah, because with mechanized, you would have some slightly heavier tanks, which would help out in these brawls, while the T-55s are pretty mediocre in this sort of engagement where it's just head on. And we've seen in the middle, is he just going to go for broke? Just go right down the highway?
Hammer right here in front. So the infantry's going to spot it. See the recoil as rifle team's going. Oh yeah, he's going to send it here.
I like it.
I mean, there's one MI-17 in front. Now there's some T-55s being called out, recon ones as well. I mean, he might get some damage here.
Yeah, he's coordinating as well, using the Scandia recoilless rifles for a bit of fire support. I did get quite a little light reconnaissance patrol.
Yeah, the plowman trying to CV snipe there. That's which is never, I think, really what he used the plowman for. But more helicopters have now converged on the train here. So might as well fly the Valkyries going here. It's like a death ride. But they're going to go in and turn here, and we see those rockets come up from the Mi-17s. This recoilless rifle team's getting hammered. You needed an A piece with it.
Yeah.
Unless they run out of rockets. Nah, they'll kill them before they run out.
Seeing more reinforcements coming in from the spawn. Ron Hameo going in hot. He's still alive! No, never mind.
It was a little hammer that could.
Hammerhead.
Well, I think that's about, as we near the end point here, Rang, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Between the two.
Yeah, I do have a question for you, Graham, because this is the first time we've done like a 2v2 cast. So it's been a while just in general since I've generally casted 2v2s. And you're also participating in this tournament, and you frankly just play Wargame more than me. What's the difference playing in like a 2v2, like especially tournament setting like this, compared to trying to play like 1v1 competitively?
So, I'm not the best 1v1 competitive player, I will say that. I do play, though. You can find me in the rank pool. I'm not the greatest. I mainly used to do that for Steel Division. There's a different level of coordination. So the biggest thing, I think, is communication. When you play by yourself, it's just you and your opponent, right? When you have another teammate, it adds so much more into the equation. So you need to be able to communicate, quickly and efficiently with your teammate, or you're not going to be able to win and progress, because then it devolves into separate 1v1s, and that's really, I don't think, where you want it to go. The best players, and me and my teammate, we played against Ghosty and Nick the Man this past week, and we got crushed. And I think we have very good team chemistry because we've been playing this together for a long time. But you could see that they were better at organizing their decks and their positioning as a team at a high Wargame level. And so the speed's still really high, the complexity's still high, but you have to know how to communicate, I think, is the biggest thing. And if you don't communicate well or plan, right, have a plan, which didn't look like either of them really had like a general like plan of what they wanted to do, and you can kind of see it play itself out.
It's about that synergy.
Yeah, and it's definitely different from if any of the Steel Division people watch our videos, which they should, for Wargame, is that because of the lethality of Wargame, creating smoke, right? Artificial cover is so important. And so when you see players don't effectively utilize smoke, it's going to hamper them the farther they get in the game. It's a skill you want to learn really, really early because it's not just like to protect heavy tanks. It provides cover for your infantry. It keeps something from getting annihilated, right? It can be a bait in certain situations. And so the teams that typically utilize smoke better and utilize their air power better will win.
Yep. But good game. Team Kaprom taking the victory out rough 2,000 KD difference, which is pretty fair for, a 2v2 match.
Yeah, no, and it looked like, and I think the KDs kind of reflected, it looks like there were two separate 1v1s played.
Yep.
And so, and both KDs really reflect that. And whereas sometimes I think these team games, you might see some wide variation in the KDs, depending on who's getting the most kills or whatnot. But that can sometimes, I think, be intentional, right? One player is going to be the tip of the spear, right? The other player will then play more of a support role. Whereas in this match, you saw all players basically want to do their own thing.
Yes. I also think it's just we're going to see the new matchup of Israel Marine being the top tier deck.
I mean, it did get I would not have predicted that Israel Marine would beat Poland to start. I would not have.
We need more Marine meta. Honest
Yes.
to God. Marine decks are so much fun.
They're
not great, but they're fun.
Rangru wants you guys to play more
Go
Marine.
on, Blitzroll. Play more Marine.
Let them know in the comments how you feel about that.
But, yeah, once again, Graham, thank you very much for joining.
No, thank you. I have a blast as always. Looking forward to the next one.
Lovely, and thank you if you're at home for watching as well. Expect more from the 2v2 GSI tournament. And as usual, please just take it easy.